If Anna had known that morning would be the last time she'd see her mother's eyes open, she would have held her hand a little tighter. She would have said, "I love you," one more time. The hospital room at Lagos University Teaching Hospital was too quiet. 10-year-old Anna sat beside her mother's bed, her small fingers wrapped around her mother's thin, cold hand. Her mother's eyes were closed, but her chest still rose and fell barely. "Mama," Anna whispered, her voice shaking, "are you going to get better soon?" Slowly, her mother's eyes fluttered open. She smiled. Even in sickness, that smile was the most beautiful thing in the world. "My precious Anna," she said weakly, "I want you to remember something very important. No matter what happens, I will always love you. Always." Anna didn't understand why her mother sounded so tired or so final. She believed they would go home together soon, back to their little house, back to warm food and soft songs. But that night changed everything. Her mother never woke up again. This is not just a story. It will break you. It will make you ask questions you're not ready to answer. So sit back, watch closely, and see how a little girl named Anna lost everything, only to find a strength the world tried to bury. Because sometimes, the ones who are broken the deepest are the ones the spirits never let go. Anna was only 9 years old when she lost her mother. It wasn't the kind of loss people talk about lightly. It wasn't a slap from fate. It was a slow tearing, a long goodbye, a fading that stole light every day. Her mother, Ifeoma, had been very sick for a long time, longer than Anna could understand. Some said it was cancer. Others whispered in corners that it was a spiritual illness, that someone had poisoned her, or that a jealous spirit from the father's side was responsible. But no one truly knew. All Anna knew was that her mother, who once danced while frying plantain, who once sang sweet lullabies under moonlight, was becoming a shadow. A quiet, coughing shadow. The hospital smelled like dental and sadness. Machines beeped softly, and nurses in pale blue uniforms walked quickly, always with tight faces. Anna held her mother's hand. It felt cold. Not cold like water. Cold like the skin had forgotten how to be warm. Her mother opened her eyes slowly. Her lips barely moved, but her voice floated out like the last note of a dying flute. "I will always be with you." Then, she was gone. And with her, something inside Anna died too. The sound of that final breath became a ghost that haunted her every night. After the funeral, everyone left. That's what people do. They cry, they hug you, they bring jollof rice and Fanta to the house, and then they leave. But silence stays. And silence is a cruel visitor. Her father, Peter, changed. He was once the man who carried Anna on his shoulders and told her stories about how he fought lions when he was young, though everyone knew it was just goats. But after Ifeoma died, Peter became like a tree in Harmattan, dry, brittle, and easily broken. He started working more. Construction jobs in different states. Long days. Longer nights. And Anna? She stayed home alone. There was no one to braid her hair anymore. No one to kiss her forehead when she sneezed. No one to chase away her nightmares when the power went out and NEPA refused to bring back light. Peter noticed. One night, he came into her room and sat quietly beside her bed. "I can't do this alone," he said, voice heavy. "I need help." Anna didn't answer. She just stared at the wall and counted the cracks. Adora arrives. A few months later, Peter came home with a woman. Her name was Adora. She was beautiful, too beautiful. Her skin glowed. Her teeth were perfect. Her nails were always painted red. Her clothes were fine, with lace that danced when she walked. And her voice, sweet like honey and hibiscus. "I'm here to take care of you, my darling," she said, smiling as she held Anna's hand. At first, everything was okay. She cooked a goosey soup. She cleaned. She even helped Anna with her homework. Anna began to think, maybe God was giving her another chance. But the gods of folktales do not give gifts without price. It began slowly. A harsh tone here. A cold stare there. Then one day, when Peter left for a trip, the real Adora stepped out. "Wake up," she shouted at 5 a.m., pouring cold water on Anna's face. "You think you're a princess? There's work to do." She handed Anna a broom longer than her legs. "Clean every corner of this house. I want the floor to shine like your useless mother's tears." Anna's heart broke. But she obeyed. Because what choice did she have? The chores got worse. She scrubbed toilets with her bare hands. She washed clothes that weren't hers. She cooked, fetched water, and mopped the compound while Adora sat on her phone painting her nails and laughing with neighbors. At school, Anna began to change. Once the top of her class, now she was always late, sleepy, or missing entirely. One day, her teacher asked softly, "Anna, is everything all right at home?" Anna hesitated, then whispered, "Please, don't tell my dad." And the teacher nodded and stayed silent. One night, Anna cried herself to sleep. She was hungry, tired, and sore. As she wept, she began to hum a song her mother used to sing to her. "Omo me, masuinkuin. I will hold you in dreams." Then, a breeze swept into the room. Not from the window, from nowhere. And a voice. "Anna." Soft, gentle, familiar. She looked up, startled. "Who's there?" The corner of the room glowed. A woman in white stepped forward, shimmering like the morning star. "Mama," Anna whispered. "It's me," the spirit said. "I've seen everything. I've heard your cries. And I will help you." And from that night on, Anna was no longer truly alone. Weeks passed. At school, something exciting happened. The principal announced a national competition. A scholarship. Whoever won would study medicine and surgery abroad. Everything paid. The entire school buzzed with hope. And Anna? She saw fire again. The fire that Adora had almost killed. She ran home with excitement bubbling in her chest. "Stepmother, there's a competition. If I win, I can become a doctor." Adora turned slowly. Her smile was gone. Her voice was sharp. "You? Doctor? With what brain? Can't you even finish mopping the house?" Useless goat. Anna froze. Tears in her eyes. But she didn't argue. She simply turned and went to her room. And cried. Again. But her mother's ghost appeared once more. "You're not useless," she whispered. "You were born for more." Anna wiped her tears. And began to study. The night before the scholarship exam, Anna didn't sleep. She lay on her thin mattress, books scattered around her like fallen stars. Her eyes were red from reading by candlelight, her fingers stained with ink and dreams. Her heart beat loudly in her chest, not from fear, but hope. "This is it," she whispered. "Tomorrow, everything changes." Her mother's spirit had visited her just an hour before. "I'll be with you," she said, touching Anna's head like a crown. "The world will try to stop you. But remember who you are." Anna smiled as she drifted to sleep, her mother's voice humming through the silence like wind in a calabash. But as dawn broke, so did Adora's patience. She had been watching Anna, watching how she smiled again, watching how she dared to dream, and something inside her twisted. She didn't want Anna to succeed. No, she couldn't stand it. Because a child she tried to destroy had no business rising above her. And so, just before Anna woke, Adora crept through the hallway, key in hand. Click. She locked the bedroom door. From outside, she whispered with venom. "You're not going anywhere." Then she walked away, and awoke with joy in her heart. She jumped up and stretched her arms toward the ceiling, grinning. "Today's the day," she whispered. She reached for her uniform, neatly folded on a chair. Then she turned the doorknob. It didn't move. She froze. She tried again. And again. Nothing. Her heart sank. She banged the door with her fists. "Stepmother, please. It's today. The exam." No answer. She screamed louder. Still nothing. Her voice broke, her throat scratched raw from crying. "Please." Hours passed. At school, her name was called. "Anna Obina?" Silence. Her classmates looked around. The teachers exchanged worried glances. Her mathematics teacher picked up the phone and called Adora. No answer. He tried again. Adora declined the call. He frowned and called Peter. Far away, in a different state, Peter answered. "Hello, sir. I'm calling about your daughter, Anna. She didn't show up for the exam." "What?" Peter's voice sharpened. "That can't be right. She was looking forward to it. Did something happen?" The teacher hesitated. "Well, sir, I also called your wife, but she didn't answer." Peter's heart started racing. He called Adora immediately. She picked up on the third ring, her voice fake sweet. "Oh, hi, darling. Where's Anna?" Adora paused. "She's not here. Maybe she ran away. Maybe she's not serious." Peter was silent. Then he hung up. Something didn't feel right. Not at all. Back at home, Anna had collapsed on the floor. Her voice was gone. Her uniform was wrinkled, her hope leaking away like water from a broken pot. She curled into herself and began to whisper, "God, please. I tried. I tried so hard." Suddenly, the light in the room shifted. A warm glow filled the corners. Anna looked up. Her mother was there, dressed in white, glowing like a river in sunlight. "Anna, Mama." "She tried to stop you, but I didn't raise a quitter. I don't know what to do." "Look at the back window." Anna turned. It was a small window, old, rusted, but she had never noticed the loose frame before. "Push," her mother whispered. Anna stumbled to her feet. She pressed against it. It creaked, then cracked, then freedom. She slipped through, cutting her elbow on the metal, bruising her knee. But she didn't care. She was out. The sun was already high in the sky. She was late. So late. But her legs moved on their own. She ran, barefoot, hair wild, just coating her face and uniform. People stared. A woman called out, "Annie, where are you running to like that?" But Anna didn't answer. She ran like her soul depended on it. Because it did. When she reached the school gates, the security man almost stopped her. But her teacher saw her and waved her through. "Let her in," he shouted. "Let her write." Anna collapsed into a chair. Sweaty, breathless, dirty, but burning with determination. "You made it," the teacher whispered. Anna picked up the pen and began to write. Each answer carried weight. Each line carried her pain. Each word was fire. She wrote like her life depended on it. Because it did. The results came 2 weeks later. The entire school gathered in the hall. Students buzzed with energy. Whispers flew like birds. "Who won? Is it that boy from SS2? I heard Anna wrote well." The principal climbed the stage. He cleared his throat. "I'm proud to announce that the winner of the National Medicine Scholarship is..." A pause. A breath. "Anna Obina." Silence. Then, cheers exploded. People screamed. Her classmates lifted her in the air. Teachers hugged each other. One teacher even wept. "You did it," they told her. "You did it." Anna stood still, holding the certificate. She didn't smile. Not yet. She was still waiting to wake up. But it was real. It was finally real. At home, Adora heard the news from a neighbor. She nearly dropped her pot. "What? How?" "I locked her in. I made sure she wouldn't go." She stormed around the compound, shouting at the air. Who helped her? Who? But no one answered. Because no one cared. The story was out. The community had started to whisper. People were connecting the dots.
Happy Hi Bestie. If you enjoyed this story so far, don't forget to like and subscribe and comment where you are watching from. Enjoy!
Even the kind neighbor who once asked, "Why are you always shouting at this girl?" now looked at Adora with disgust. Adora knew her mask was slipping. But it was too late. Anna's name was in the newspaper. Her photo on the school notice board. The girl she tried to bury had grown roots. And bloomed. Peter came back 2 days later. He arrived to see balloons at the front of the house. A small cake on the table. Adora smiling like a queen. "Our daughter won a scholarship," she announced, laughing like she'd been the one who did the exam. Peter blinked in shock. "Anna." She nodded. "She's going to study medicine abroad." Anna stood in the corner. Her face calm. Her eyes questioning. Why is she pretending? Why is she smiling now? But she said nothing. She just watched. Watched as the same hands that beat her now clapped for her. That night, she sat in her room. The celebration was over. The cake was eaten. The lies had been swallowed. The room was dark. Then the soft glow came again. "Mama," she whispered. Her mother appeared, seated by the window. They spoke quietly. Of things only they understood. And Anna felt peace. For a moment. But outside the door. Adora was listening. She heard Anna talking to someone. But only one voice. She burst into the room. "Who are you talking to?" "Ghosts." "Are you mad?" "You're turning into a witch." Anna didn't answer. She just stared. But something in her eyes had changed. A strength. A calmness. A fire. Adora didn't know it yet. But she had already lost. The next morning, the sun rose gently over the village. Birds chirped as if they knew something was about to change. Inside the house, tension hung in the air like thick smoke. Adora had barely slept. She paced the living room, her heels tapping the floor like a ticking bomb. Her eyes were red, not from sorrow, but from fear. The night before had unsettled her. She had heard Anna talking to no one, laughing softly, whispering like someone in love with madness. "She's cursed," Adora muttered to herself. or possessed. That spirit of her dead mother is turning her into a witch. But deep down, Adora knew it wasn't madness she heard in Anna's voice. It was peace, and that was what frightened her most. Because peace was the one thing she couldn't steal. Peter had returned, happy and proud, but also curious. Something didn't sit right in his spirit. He remembered the teacher's call, the concern, the strange silence on Adora's end. So the next morning, as Adora made tea and tried to wear her good wife smile, Peter asked, "How did Anna get to the exam that day?" Adora blinked. The scholarship exam. The teacher called me that morning, saying she didn't show up. He was worried. Adora's hand trembled slightly as she poured the tea. "Oh, that day? Oh, I think she was feeling sick in the morning, so she stayed in bed. Then maybe she felt better and ran off without telling me. You know these children." Peter stared at her. He didn't respond, but something inside him shifted. And that night, while Adora snored softly beside him, Peter slipped out of bed and went to Anna's room. He knocked. "Come in," she said. He stepped in slowly, eyes soft. Anna was sitting by her desk, organizing papers and medical books she had received from the embassy. "You're leaving in 2 months," Peter said, sitting down on her bed. "I'm proud of you." "Thank you, Papa." He nodded, then whispered, "Tell me the truth." She looked up. His voice cracked. "Did she stop you that day?" Silence. Tension. The walls themselves seemed to pause. Anna's eyes filled with tears. "Yes." Peter froze. "She locked me in. She took the key. She didn't want me to go. I climbed out the window." Peter stood slowly, his hands clenched at his sides. "And I didn't tell you because I knew you loved her. I didn't want to hurt you." Peter didn't speak. He walked out of the room like a man carrying a mountain. The next morning, he did something no one expected. He packed Adora's bags. Every shoe, every wrapper, every piece of jewelry. He placed them all in a big black bag and dropped it in the sitting room. Adora came out confused. "What's going on?" Peter's face was hard. "Leave." She laughed nervously. "What?" "I said get out of my house." "Peter, what are you saying? I trusted you. I brought you here to take care of my daughter. And you tried to destroy her." "No. Wait. Please. I can explain." "Explain to who?" "The gods." He turned away, but Anna stood behind him, watching. Adora dropped to her knees. "Please. I'm sorry. Don't do this to me. Don't send me away." Peter stared at her with tired eyes. "You already sent yourself away, the day you forgot she was a child." And just like that, Adora was gone. Adora left that day with dust on her feet and bitterness in her chest. She returned to her sister's house in another village. But peace never followed her. She married again 2 years later to a quiet trader with no children. She wanted a child of her own so badly. To love, to hold, to fill the hole that had become her heart. But fate, cruel and fair, had other plans. She got pregnant. 3 months in, she lost the baby. Then it happened again. And again. Every time she felt joy, sorrow followed behind like a jealous spirit. The doctors said her womb was too weak. Others whispered it was a curse, a punishment. One day, a village prophetess told her plainly, "You mistreated a child of destiny, a child watched by spirits. You closed your heart, and now your womb is closed too." Adora wept, but the tears no longer washed anything clean. Anna left Nigeria 2 months later. At the airport, Peter hugged her tightly. "You are the best thing I ever did right," he said, his voice thick. Anna cried too. "Thank you for believing me, even if it came late. I should have seen it sooner. I'm sorry." "It's okay," she whispered. "We're here now." Then she boarded the plane, with her mother's locket around her neck, and her dreams strapped to her heart like wings. Life abroad wasn't easy. Cold weather, strange food, long nights of studying. But Anna thrived. Every time she wanted to give up, her mother would visit her in dreams. "Remember who you are," she'd say. "You are mine. You are light." Anna graduated with honors. Then came medical school. Then her first hospital job. Then her first life saved. And with each step, the little girl who once scrubbed floors in silence grew stronger. She became a woman, a healer, a light in places others could not see. 15 years later, she returned. Older, stronger, but with the same fire in her heart. Peter had grown old. His hair was gray, his steps slower. But he cried when he saw her. "My daughter. My doctor." They held each other for a long time. Anna began to volunteer at clinics in the village. She helped mothers give birth. She treated snake bites, malaria, infections, anything that came her way. People started calling her Dr. Anna of the Spirits, because she healed like someone touched by more than just medicine. And then the letter came. Adora was dying. She had no one.
Hi bestie, kunyafo hivi kumyeshawa uruang. If you enjoyed the story so far, don't forget to like and subscribe for part 2. Comment where you are watching from and I will reply with my favorite emoji. Thank you.